you know what? I love how you explained it so eloquently. Like you went into, that transition between jumping between different career paths. When you said that you went back to owning another business, right? After being in corporate, how did
Yeah.
you map out or find that clarity? Because yes, you can jump in between, but how did you know specifically this is what I'm going to do and these are the people I'm going to help?
I like that you mentioned the word clarity, which is nowadays it's kind of a bit overused word, but I think it's a very necessary word to say, because clarity does not only mean, okay, I know what I will do. Clarity is more like a very high level self reflection. What am I good at? Maybe you have to go to a coach, maybe you have to do personality tests, maybe you have to analyze yourself and really go through your previous positions or career. Okay, what did I do? What was I good at? What gave me energy? What drained me? What situations I liked, what I don't like, and I kind of put together this kind of map for myself, and also that what was in my values, that I always wanted to have my family and my kids in my first place. So my motherhood is really important for me.
On today's podcast episode, we have Klara Ganter with us. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Okay, so I would love to jump in and have you tell our audience a little bit about you, what it is you do, and who you serve.
Yeah, so I'm a career strategist. I live in Europe, but I work internationally. I have clients from all over the world, kind of. And I'm a career strategist for moms, especially. And I'm focusing with my clients on the area where moms lose their professional identity after having kids. It's a very difficult situation sometimes. They are not aligned with the corporate system. Some moms want to leave the corporate system to open their own business, but they never had a business or they don't know how to do it. And not necessarily the business itself, but the mindset transition from corporate mindset to a CEO or mompreneur mindset. So I designed training programs for that. And basically, based on my own experience, I transitioned from corporate to entrepreneurship twice. So back and forth and back and forth. At one point in my life, after I left the leadership position in the corporate world, I opened my own pastry shop. So I had a brick and mortar business as well. But it turned out that 3 kids and owning such a business is not very, was not the best idea. I was working like 7 days a week, and even though it was my career dream and I thought that, it's 37, I reached my career highlights, everything is fine, I closed it after 3 years, making this decision because of my family. It was always my family which was first, and I miss my kids. I wanted to see them growing up, so I closed it. And the fun fact is that after I closed it, in 6 weeks, COVID came. So I probably had to close it anyway, because with 3 small kids, homeschooling them because of COVID, and baking cakes for weddings. I mean, there were no weddings at all, so it would be very difficult. So I was super happy because, I didn't have to, sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry for that.
That's okay.
Sorry for that.
No, you know what?
I just
I
wasn't aware that my earphone is connected to my phone. Yeah, my third kid just phoned because she's coming home from somewhere. So from her flute lesson, actually, and I don't know why she was phoning, but she will phone her dad. It's okay. I told her that I have this podcast, but kids are not listening.
Oh, of course.
So sorry for that, but yeah, this is real life. Yeah. So, telling my mom stories, I closed it. And by the time COVID hit, I already had another corporate job, another leadership position. And when I was done with that, it was a bit toxic workplace, but it was great for a few years. And after that, I said to myself, okay, I'm over 40 now. I, explored a lot of things in my career. And now I want to do something meaningful, that I make some impact, and I use all my experience, all my skills. So I basically took off a few months to figure out what is next for me. And I realized that I talked to people, and many people were asking me, how did you do that? That, you are jumping back and forth like like there would be no tomorrow, from corporate to entrepreneurship. How do you have the confidence? How do you have the courage for that? And I said, I didn't have that. That was my vision. I wanted to do that. I wanted to explore that. And it never came to my mind that I should make a clear linear career path. Whenever I felt something is not right, I just changed it. And it was not easy. It was not, changing from Monday to Tuesday. Definitely, I always had to start from scratch. And it was definitely not easy. But I realized that this is the kind of problem for many other moms as well, who don't have the courage, don't know how to do it, don't have the support, and don't know how to basically do that. So I thought that, okay, let's help other moms be confident in their skills and what they good at, and whether they can change their career for something better. So I opened up my kind of career coaching business, so to say, and I'm doing that since.
Oh, you know what? I love how you explained it so eloquently. Like you went into, that transition between jumping between different career paths. When you said that you went back to owning another business, right? After being in corporate, how did
Yeah.
you map out or find that clarity? Because yes, you can jump in between, but how did you know specifically, this is what I'm going to do and these are the people I'm going to help?
I like that you mentioned the word clarity, which is nowadays it's kind of a bit overused word, but I think it's a very necessary word to say, because clarity does not only mean, okay, I know what I will do. Clarity is more like a very very high level self-reflection. What am I good at? Maybe you have to go to a coach. Maybe you have to do personality tests. Maybe you have to analyze yourself and really go through your previous positions or career. Okay, what did I do? What was I good at? What gave me energy? What drained me? What situations I liked, what I don't like, and I kind of put together this kind of map for myself, and also that what was in my values, that I always wanted to have my family and my kids in my first place. So my motherhood is really important for me. But I also realized that with motherhood, we gain so many skills and so many strengths, right? And that gave me also the confidence that honestly, if I can manage 3 small kids when they all have fever, and you have to give them medicine, and you don't want to overdose them because you have no idea after 2 days who got what at one point. If I can do that, if I can handle these kind of very hard situations sometimes, I can manage a company. I can have a business. I can confidently talk to people. If I can, step up for my kids in strange situation in the school with teachers or with doctors, where you really have to fight yourself through in certain moments, then I clearly can, talk to potential clients or handle difficult situations. So I basically gained a lot of strengths from my motherhood experience as well, because I think, being responsible for a human being is much more important than any other project in the corporate world or in business. So if you can handle that one, and you can, because you learn how to do it, then you gain this confidence, and it gives you the strength to step up for yourself as well. And also I realized I have 3 daughters, and I think as a mom of daughters, it's really important to show them that it's not either motherhood or either career. It can function if you if it can function together as well, if you own it with confidence, and if you know what are your values, and how to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love that you spoke about strength, because a lot of times we talk about entrepreneurship, but we don't speak about the strength that it takes to be an entrepreneur, to be a parent, to be any of these other roles that we play in life. For you, I'm glad that you were able to look on it and say, hey, um, if I can do this, then I can do this other thing, right? What are some tips that you can give other entrepreneurs that may not be looking at themselves in that way, right?
Yeah.
Um,
uh,
yeah.
I usually use the example, which I personally like very much, that, if you are moving from one house to another, you don't leave everything behind, right? You pack your things, you collect what you like, you collect what you have, and just basically put it in a different environment. So all your strengths and skills does not disappear if you leave the corporate world, or if you become an entrepreneur, or if you are working as an entrepreneur on a different project. Everything is inside you, everything is in your boxes. You just have to put that in a little bit different environment and unpack what you currently need. You might not use all your skills in your business, and maybe you don't like certain things to use because you are not good at. You got those things in your box from your, I don't know, mother-in-law or something like that, and you never want to see them. This is, for example, marketing and sales. Many people struggle with it, right? Or negotiation, or clear communication. Then leave those things in a box and ask for help with those things. But I really like this example to move your things with you and unpack those that you need, and what you don't like and don't want to deal with, ask for help.
Oh, I love that. And who and how did you get help when you first started the transition?
When I left my pastry shop, I knew that I was not working in the corporate world for a long time, like 10 years, because before the pastry shop, I did also like culinary workshops, and I was a food blogger when I was at home with my kids. So I always worked next to them. It was just not the 9 to 5 thing. So I started the entrepreneurship kind of that, but then I made it to the pastry shop, which was really a brick and mortar shop and not food blogging or cookbook writing and things like that. But after that, it I don't know, 10 or 12 years went by, and I honestly, even if I worked in HR before in a leadership position, I had no idea how to write a CV, and what is the trend at that time, and how to phrase it, and what am I really good at, which can be transferred to the corporate world. So I went to a coach basically myself, and she assured me about what am I good at, even if I didn't use those skills necessarily in what I was doing previously, but it was in me. So it helped me to understand myself better and helped me to gain confidence, because I got some reassurance from outside, from a stranger, so to say. And I think this is why a coach is really good in any kind of situation, whether it's business or career or partnership. There are so many experts out there that you get basically a view from an outside, from a stranger who does not know anything about you, and clearly just see the white paper in you. Yes, exactly.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And for our listeners, if you are at the stage where you're like, you know what, I don't even know what coach to go with. Sometimes even possibly getting their low ticket item just to see and get a feel, because different coaches, I find, depends on who you're working with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really resonates with different people,
Yes.
right? Have you had or been in different situations with different coaches and you found that like one of them worked better for one thing than another? Like, how did you kind of find this specific coach?
I find it basically through a mutual friend, and I knew that this company, which was owned by this actually a former colleague, has the right values. They were also like a family-friendly workplace, so I knew that they will understand my kind of values. And I not really worked with. I worked with a business coach. I think you feel. When someone is speaking to you, and I had the same experience. Not everyone is my client, I have a lot of like advisory calls, and some people immediately we are feeling that, okay, it was a nice talk, but I'm maybe not the person, maybe I'm not the personality who can help them, or maybe they are not really wanting what I have. It's completely okay. I think if you understand what your problem is, then it's easier to resonate with someone, because you can write down maybe, okay, these are the things what I'm struggling with, but you have to do that homework first, to have this kind of, even this unprofessional clarity, so to say, which is not done by a professional coach. But be honest to yourself and write down what you are struggling with, what are the keywords that you are resonating with, and then you will find the coach who are exactly telling those words. And ask your friends, LinkedIn, for example, is a great example. You can just write a DM, and even in a written very casual conversation, you immediately feel whether this person is too pushy or really wants to help, or check out their website. And so there is, luckily there is so much information, but I think honesty is really self-honesty is really key here.
Yep, I agree, love it. So when you transitioned from, okay, so now you're in corporate and you're like, you know what, I'm going back to entrepreneurship, right? What systems did you put in place for you to be able to, have boundaries and all the things that it takes to be a mom and run a business and
I love this. Yeah, I love this question, because also my clients feel sometimes, oh, it will be so great if I transition from corporate to business. I will have so much freedom. And I always say to them, wait. The freedom you want is not really, it's something different, because, boundaries, exactly. So, at that point, I already had a small burnout, the pastry shop. I knew I have to build boundaries. So in my head, it was always like boundaries first and then clients. Mm-hmm. So I feel and up to this day, I fill my calendar with my own things, with family things, with appointments to, I don't know, doctors with the kids, or, everything kind of personal. And then I see where I have time to put my clients. And I don't need, all the clients in the world. I absolutely know my values in that. I know that I don't want to scale to, I don't know how many $1 million. I don't want to build a team. I like to be on my own currently. And if you know these values, it's so much easier to set boundaries and know where you are heading at, because many entrepreneurs who are starting out make the mistakes to copy someone else, right? So they say, oh, I want to be like that. I have to do that. I have to use that software that this other coach or whatever is using. And I have to send the exact same newsletters because I like them. But no, you have to find your own voice, because that will be authentic. That will resonate with your future clients, or even if you have a product, you have to communicate it as your own, and not to lose yourself on this path. I think this kind of what I was basically saying, that this honesty, not only where you need help, but what are your values and where you are heading at and in what time frame you want to do it. I think it's very important. I mean, I'm a very strategic and logical and system thinking person, obviously. I cannot hide that, and I don't want to hide that. So I always build up this kind of matrix for myself where I am confident and what I like to do and where am I heading at in my business, and it immediately gives me the necessary boundaries. So for me it was not that hard, that part to make, because I already knew after 40 that okay, at least what I want to have in this business, and don't make the same mistakes I did before.
I love everything you just said, right? I think a lot of entrepreneurs go into business and they don't think about what it is that they want. So, for example, you were saying, um, write down all of the things on the calendar, the doctors, all the appointments, family time, vacations, all the things that make up the things, right? Family life, what family life looks like to you. And entrepreneurs dive headfirst. And they feel like, okay, in order to be successful, I have to serve at the expense of my family.
Yeah. And they end up working even more than in the corporate world.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And it's not until years go by or they burn out that they realize I didn't need to be doing all these things because it doesn't make them happy. In speaking with your clients, do you emphasize to them that they should really think about what it is that makes them happy? Or, okay, what does that process look like?
Basically, when I start to work with a client, whether it's, a mom who wants to transition from corporate to business, or just standing at crossroads and doesn't know where she's heading at, whether it's another corporate job just with different conditions, or whether it's business, or whether it's being a stay-at-home mom and being confident in that decision, this kind of clarity is key that we are making. And I always say that basically one of my first questions or what we are working at is, what kind of life or lifestyle do you want to live? No matter what, we are not talking about positions. We are not talking about directions. We are talking about what kind of life you want. Do you want to be at a big conference in 5 years and, speaking in front of people? Is that what you want? No matter what your position or, brand or corporate environment is. Or do you want to be at your kids' birthday parties more? Or sometimes, people say that, oh, I want to travel and I want to have a shop. And I say that, okay, but these things are just the opposite. You cannot have a brick and mortar shop with an office and travel the world. So, let's face it. And if they say it out loud, it's very strong and very, very, sometimes surprising what they are saying, that what kind of life they really want, and changing that perspective. And I always obviously include the motherhood perspective, and obviously my clients are coming to me because I incorporate this in that. We are basically, because many moms say that, oh, I will miss my career path. I learned so much and I studied and, I have this kind of experience and I will lose all that if I step back now. And I advise them that, look, what is more important to you? Your kids are, I don't know, 2 or 4 years old, right? So pretty small. Okay, not babies anymore, but in the toddler phase. And these years will not come back, right? We can agree with that for sure. Mm-hmm. So, but it's not forever, right? They will grow up. You will have more time. They will be more independent. Thank God. And maybe you only sacrifice 2 or 3 years that you are stepping back, but you are gaining so much more with your kids, which is also a foundation to their teenage years, where you don't have to be physically that much around, but mentally and emotionally. I have 3 teenagers. So I'm very wise in this phase. I don't know what's coming, but But so just making them confident in their decisions, and making them understand that in motherhood nothing lasts forever. Even the diaper phase is over at one point, and also you can adjust your career. Maybe you cannot accept or don't want to accept a leadership position right now, but that does not mean that first you are not capable of being a leader. You
Right.
don't have the skills to be a leader, and you don't have the chance to be a leader later in your career when you really have the time and can be focusing on that part, because your kids are older a little bit, and you don't have to run all the time in the kindergarten and picking them up because they have a running nose, as it happens all the time. So it's obviously it's a different problem or different task with teenagers, but those kind of daily craziness, it's a bit over at that point because they are more independent. So we are adjusting the motherhood phases to the career phases, or vice versa, which one everyone likes. So I make them feeling confident in their decisions, and incorporating this the whole career path with the motherhood path, so to say. It's very important for them.
Wow. And do you find that you have a lot of moms that struggle more with an internal battle, like the mental part of it, or do you find that it's more systems that they don't have why they're struggling?
I think they cannot go without each other. The corporate system was definitely not built for being a mom. I think we can say that out loud. There are workplaces who support moms more. There are workplaces who does not support moms at all. Of course, there is a difference, but generally, this whole system, working 40 hours a week, with small children or even one child, even if you have a supporting partner, but probably he is working as well, the same amount, it's basically meant for having a whole household at home, like, cleaning lady or someone who takes their child to school and on, which is not necessarily sustainable financially, or you don't want to you don't want to earn money to give that money to someone else who's taking care of your children. That can work as well for some people. That's the ideal solution, but for some it's not. So it's the system is not built for moms necessarily, so it gives an internal struggle, and moms reflect on that, not with the system is wrong, but they feel that they are not doing enough, which is not true, definitely. So it's a it's a journey, and understanding that you will never fit into that system in certain stages in your life helps a lot to change the mindset about that, because you can accept it, it's okay, but then you are intentionally smoothing into the system and accepting, okay, that's it, that's my phase of life, and I accept it. But fighting it makes you burn out pretty fast.
And if you had to go back and give yourself some tools to use, right, a tool specifically, and some advice to the version of yourself before you actually burnt out, right, what advice and what tool would you have given yourself?
Advice, definitely, that which many moms feel, not only me, is that life is not a competition. You don't have to be better than others. You don't have to, as I said, copy others and constantly run after someone other's dream and someone other's life. It's not a competition. You will reach your goals if you are consistent and know what you want. I think that would be the advice for myself, and be more patient, definitely, with your career. Because, if you have ambition, it's really hard not to push. But now that my kids are teenagers, I see, the things are coming back, and I see what my work is paying off, so to say, not 100% because it never can. And I don't say that I'm a good mom or a bad mom. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm learning every
And
day
you,
something new, as we all do. But, looking back, I already see that, okay, I didn't mess up everything. And that's great because that's the reward of what I sacrificed at those time. So yeah, basically that. And tools, uh, I would definitely hire earlier a cleaning lady, I think, as a tool, so to say, definitely. Or use more meal prep things or something like that, not to go crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
something
but you know
like
what?
that.
You're not. I mean, I've listened to so many other podcasts and coaches, and they said that a lot of the things that gave them time was finding the people to do the things that used to take up
Yeah,
all that time, because then
yeah,
that felt like overwhelm, because now you have, a house to clean, food to cook, garbage to take out, all the different things that makes up
yeah,
living outside of having kids and the pickup schedule.
yeah,
They found someone to take one thing off of their plate.
yeah,
And that was
yeah.
able to allow them to either do more or do for themselves, like self care.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Because as moms, we are, our brain is like, I can do everything.
Oh, yeah. Super.
and
We're all
and
super.
asking for help is I think super necessary. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's not a weakness asking for help. It's just, absolutely 100% basics.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I agree. And what are some important tips that you can give to our entrepreneurs that are now stepping out of corporate, going back to being an entrepreneur? What are some important tips that you think would help them transition either easily, if you want to approach it that way, or if they're like mid journey?
Mhm. I think before someone transitions, I think it's really important to understand the nature of owning a business, because many people in the corporate world think that, oh, I can do that and I can do this, and they think it's easy and clients will just come in 2 weeks and everything is fine because I know what I'm doing. And business is such a lonely journey sometimes. So I would definitely advise to ask for help and, join maybe entrepreneur groups maybe at the same stage as you are, like starting out, gain information, maybe go to a coach and ask for help how this will be and what because starting a business, I don't think it starts with finding your niche and making your product or writing an ebook and setting up a coaching program. It does not start there. That's fine, and making a logo or a website, but you have to be clear, as I said, about your values, and that's a journey as well. So it's not like, okay, laying in the bed at midnight and thinking about these things. It's really like a plan. Make a plan how my finances will be when I don't have clients. How much time do I give myself, or all these things. So it's rather a mindset to transitioning from the corporate world to becoming an entrepreneur or starting a business. If you are already in it and you have your niche and you went through this path, don't think that it's a weakness to go back sometimes to basic and rethink a few things, even clarity things, because maybe you just jumped in there and the results are not coming as you wished. And it's again this corporate mindset, because in the corporate world we have Q1, Q2, and we have all these goals in numbers. You have to reach this percent and then overdo it the next quarter. And as a small business owner, you have to be more patient with yourself and not look at, I wanted to have 10 clients and then you only have 8 and then think you are failing. Look back and give yourself credit that you could gain 8 clients on your own, alone in the world. It's such a huge thing to do. And don't be too hard on yourself, but look back and make this kind of clarity check whether you are on the right path in your values and in your boundaries and in your time management, and in your message, in your personal brand, again and again, because we are evolving in our lives, and so is our business as well.
I love that. I love everything that you just shared. It's like um, one of the main things that I see, even in myself, right? Before I got to this stage, clarity was one of those things, and especially clarity around boundaries. That was
Yeah.
definitely one of my main issues, and we've spoken about that in the beginning and even now. That if you're not clear, there's no way for you to be able to move forward the right
Yeah.
way in your business, because you're actually setting your business up on on a ground that's shaky, because you yourself aren't clear on your mission, your purpose, your business, your boundaries. So
Yeah.
you're going to have clients that are going to step over those, right?
Mhm.
And you're not
Yeah,
going to
if you
be
let
happy
them.
in the business that you create. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's also an ego problem, right? Because we are so happy that, oh, I have so many clients, so many people want to work with me. And then your ego takes over and immediately your boundaries are lost.
Oh,
So it's very important to keep our mind clear about that, for sure.
awesome. Awesome. And then, Kara, do you do any mindfulness in your business practice? What do you do in there to like clear yourself, refocus, restructure?
Not really these classical mindfulness things. I do vision exercises for sure, and visual exercises. I'm more like on the practical side, so I like to do it in a holistic way, incorporating motherhood, as I said. But I'm not really this kind of how shall I say that, we focus on energy, of course, what is giving you energy and what not, but I'm not, uh, you know, this kind of mindfulness coach. I'm more practical and strategical, rather giving practical information and a strategic plan after each program, or that's the result basically what my clients have, so they don't have to think too much and can easily follow small steps and gain confidence. Yeah, basically that's it. But I'm not the kind of who go out in the world and manifest, and I'm
Oh,
not that
yeah,
kind of coach. I like those things, and obviously it's within everything. I mean, you cannot hide those things, but I'm not necessary. So my programs are not about that. It's not like a manifestation program or something like that.
right, right. Definitely, definitely. But you do sit down and basically visualize where you want to be in the next
Yeah,
phase to
yeah,
make sure that that is
absolutely.
clear. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, and then this kind of vision we break down into goals and make it more practical. Long-term goals, mid-term goals, small-term goals, and then we see what kind of tasks my client has to fulfill, or what kind of steps she has to make to actually reach that goal and have that vision fulfilled and lived and reach that stage. But for some people it's 3 years, for some people it's longer. With
Mhm.
mother, it's it's a tricky one
It
because
is.
many things can happen, right? But
Oh yeah.
that's okay. I always say to my clients as well that if you have this kind of roadmap in your hands, it's like when you go hiking and you have a map, you maybe leave your road because you see something interesting, but at least you know where to go back and where to start from again. But if you have nothing in your hands, you are completely lost
Yeah.
in the woods or in the mountains. So that's not the best thing to do, because it takes a lot of time to get out of there.
Oh, no, absolutely. Absolutely. You definitely have to have a clear map, a clear roadmap of where you're going. I love that you said that. Kara, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience today? And also share your links and how they can find you.
Yeah, so I have a website as well. I think I will send it through, and maybe people can say it, but it's Mumpire. I like to build a Mumpire from moms, mumpire.eu, and I'm absolutely accessible on LinkedIn. I'm really active there, and I also have my podcast. It's called The Working Mom Show, so people can check it out. And I'm talking to mom entrepreneurs and many moms who transitioning or at different phases in their entrepreneurship, and they tell their stories, how they did it with motherhood, why they did it, how they whether it's confusing with the parenting style, and all these things that working moms are suffering from and can gain ideas from.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Everyone, if you're listening, tuning in, if you're tuning in on YouTube, we're going to link all of the links below. And if you're listening, it's Klara. Can you spell it out for us?
Yeah, it's Klara Ganter, basically my name. And yeah, you can, I think they will see my name and they can find me like this on LinkedIn, and we can have a conversation from that. So all my, advisory call and all my links are there. So it's easy to find. Really.
Perfect. Klara, thank you so much for coming on today. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.